You want to read the history of Latin America, but you don't know where to start? Well, I've got 5 great books to help you out, and I'm working on a special project, and I need your help. Edwin Williamson's Penguin History of Latin America. This is a general history of the continent, touching on some of the key events. It paints in quite broad strokes, but at the same time, it's full of really interesting detail of Latin American civilization of the last 1,000 years. A good place to start. Brazil, a biography by Lilia Schwarcz and Heloísa Starling. Portuguese speaking, and therefore with somewhat of a different flavour from the rest of the continent. There's so much more to Brazilian history than samba and football. To learn the history of Brazil, this is a great starting place. Short Walks from Bogotá by Feiling. This takes a completely different approach at learning history. This is more of a travel/history book, learning the history of Colombia, challenging assumptions, and showing that there's so much more than what we get on Netflix and TV about Colombian history. It tells the history of Colombia intimately through the people and places that make up this wonderful country. Comandante by Rory, Carroll. This looks at the rise to power of Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, the tumultuous period of the 1990s, the breakdown of the social contract that went before, that had held Venezuela together for so much of the 20th century, how Chavez was able to ride a wave of resentment all the way to the presidential palace, and how it went so terribly wrong. A great introduction to Venezuela's modern history, Rory Carroll's Comandante. Argentina by David Rock. Argentina has such a unique, interesting history, so different from the rest of the continent. A country that throughout the 19th century rose to being one of the most affluent and wealthy societies, only to see it all go so terribly wrong. The 20th century was a period of turmoil and dictatorship in Argentina. David Rock's book helps understand this unique story by looking at the history of Argentina from the 16th century all the way through to the 1980s. The history of Latin America is absolutely fascinating, but unfortunately in the UK, it's so hard to find really good books on Latin American history. And I need your help for a particular project where I'm putting together reading lists on every single country in Latin America. Now, in the last video that we did on Latin American history, we got some great recommendations, but I still need more. I need more recommendations on Uruguay, Paraguay, Peru, Bolivia, Belize, Ecuador, all of those, especially by writers from the regions. On this channel, we really prize understanding history from the perspective of the people that it affects the most. To pick any of these books up, comment book below, or click the link on my bio to see our curated reading list. Follow Ancient to Recent for more book reviews and recommendations just like this.